Wait, I thought this updated overnight. Well... Well... This is gonna take a while. Right, friends. Is this okay for me to do? Oh, wait, no, that's not what I thought. Ugh. That's odd. Access granted. is gonna take a while. It appears that I've been gone for too long. People have forgotten me. Other than my few close friends, I have been forgotten. I find it unfortunate. Saddening, actually. I have been forgotten. D-Hush, hello! I won't forget you, D-Hush. Dramatic as always. I'm a drama guy. In more ways than one. At least you were here for a moment. But I do think that my usual viewers, you've recently come back to my viewership. The rest of them though, they're gone. Care Bear's gone. There's of course that one viewer who I shall not name because they are forever going to be shunned. For they are disgusting. Stuck him under Pegasus. I don't mind the fact that he isn't back. For his attraction to children. Disgusting. Other than he's the one person who find not being here. Everyone else, though, I do miss them. I do wish. There's more people here. For some reason my virtual camera doesn't work. Does Discord Virtual Camera need me to physically have a camera? It was fun before. I'm just banging this tuning fork against the edge of my table. I got 3 things tonight instead of a full course meal. 4 slices of smoked cheese slices, a bowl full of coffee, and a tuning fork. I do wish a few of my VTuber friends would show up, actually. Be quite fun. Spontan stream just now? That's cool. I suppose it's a matter of finding the optimal time zone of when I can stream daily. I am gonna need so much fucking coffee. By the way, I've actually seen on Twitter there's like a VTuber card game where I can submit my own PNG and put them in there. I want to make my own. I'm going to make a completely new art piece. Actually give myself a transformation belt. I am a Kamen Rider, I need a belt. Or at least a transformation device in general, and I don't think the mask is gonna work because I can't conceive of a way that would be physically capable of being toyetic and cosplayable. Because I have to approach the transformation device from the perspective of like, what would it be like if I actually wanted to make a toy? A CSM, this complete selection modification set around my character if I want cosplayers or myself to wear it. How do I make it? I got a recent idea, which is like a mixture of the Seiken Sword Driver, where the Wonder Ride books would open up and essentially show like a small painting, and the Desire Driver, with its sleek design and basically entire faceplates being slotted in on either side, and then tapping a button on the edge. So my idea is that when I slot it into either side, it opens up on a certain page of like a pop-up book. And then the painting itself will be there. It'll be on the left and the right side, and the final form is where there'll be a module on the top, which will slot onto the top of it and actually give it the final form. It's like this would be the... I would have it where it's the module is already inserted, but it's using the actual faceplate for this form. So, kind of like, using Kamen Rider Saber as the example, this would be the cross saber form, whereas the final... So this would be like cross saber. It uses the item for the base form and nothing else, alongside the extra item, albeit the extra item for cross saber was a literal fucking sword made of the stars that fell from the sky at a light speed. But then the final form, which I haven't drawn yet, but I want to be like the Ryotega sword form from number 1 Sentai Gojuja, it's going to essentially be like featuring Saber, which is Brave Dragon, Storm Eagle, and Journeys to the West, all those 3 books slotted into the Seiken Sword Driver, with the Cross Saber slotted in there. Essentially, there'll be the final form. For my one is going to be the key, the faceplate which activates the demon form over here, or more accurately, the purified version, because I'm going to keep this demon form as like feral. This is a feral devil trigger. Before he actually is able to regain control of himself, he uses the belt, and the powers are actually concentrated into a single faceplate, which then can be actually slotted into the belt and fused with the Ultra Form. So, Ultra Form on the right side, Demon, well, Asura Form on the left. Well, I guess instead of Demon, it'll become Daimon, which is, according in ancient Greece, essentially like a personal spirit. A daemon. A daemon is a divinity or supernatural being of nature between gods and humans, or an inner or attendant spirit of inspiring force. So, a mixture of those two with the module or like frame that will actually create the final form of that'll actually have the final form over here. So when all those open up together, it'll actually create the final form. Zenkai Soseo. All World Creation King. Or because I want to name it like it's a Yu-Gi-Oh monster, like, for example, Odd Eye's Rebellion Dragon, in the original Japanese is Hao Kokuryu Otoizu Rebellion Dragon, which is the Black Supreme King Dragon, Odd Eye's Rebellion Dragon. And then the other Supreme King Odd Eye monsters would essentially be like Odd Eye's Clearwing and Odd Eye's Starving Venom. Or actually, I have to remember those forms. But like the suffix, the part which is Hao, which is Supreme King or Conqueror, that would be like the unifying theme. For my character, though, I want to be like his big forms would just be called like Dai-O, Great King. So this would be the Mazoku Dai-O, Great King of the demons, or more accurately, magical folk, because Ma in the case would be like, it's the character for magic. Well, I guess like Majin Daio, Majin, which is like magic person. Now, I have not read Dragon Ball to the point where I've seen what Majin Buu and Majin Vegeta are. Well, anyways, Majin means magic person, so... Because I remember when in my childhood I made like these little demon stick figure looking things. I'm gonna put those in my story. This would be... I don't know what this would be the Great King of, because I want, like, the whole point of, like, the angel form fusing with the devil form to make something new, and the devil form becoming like a daimon, or like an asura. Visually, it'll be like an asura. Where instead of purging himself of all of the quote-unquote evils that he has, he instead accepts who he is and then becomes a more complete person. I want it to essentially be like a representation of me deconstructing from Christianity and Catholicism and eventually using that to become a whole person. Oh, welcome back to Yash. I just talked to myself about it. So, okay, there's a VTuber card game that is going to be happening. I want to make an art piece. I'm going to give you a little bit of context for what the hell my forms are. So, my character is a dimension-hopping monster, essentially. More like he's the successor to the God of Darkness. The game's a bit loud? Okay. Oh yeah, it is loud. Hold on. Yeah. So, I'm just going to, like, let you know. I'm going to have it where these three forms, the Demon form, the Ultra form, and the Beetle King form, all three of them are going to be fused together in order to actually make the final, like, true final form of my character, which will be like a mixture of the... Actually, I'm just going to show you while the game loads. So, before some context, because I am going to tie in the actual character development of myself to the, well, character development of my character. I am an ex-Catholic, just letting you know. Technically, by technicality, no one is allowed to leave Catholicism by the doctrine, but, like, I don't believe in the deity, so I am essentially an apostate. I left due to seeing hypocrisy, and then eventually, when I eventually left due to rationality, I stayed out due to rationality. You were never religious? Good. It's much better to live our lives using morals rather than doctrine. I'm going to have it where I can show you this. So this demon form will be my character's self-loathing. The dragon form which I put in the Discord a while back is also like a form of that. So eventually I want this form to be purified into an Asu. It's going to get a purified form which is going to look multiple arms, essentially. Multiple arms like Asura over here, or like these. The Asura is a mythical being from Hinduism which eventually crossed over to Buddhism. It's essentially the equivalent to like the Hecatoncheires from Greek mythology. Essentially, in my real life, after I left, like officially decided I am fucking done with Christianity. Perks of being Czech, you sort of have an innate tendency to be atheists. Ah, great! Okay, good. Maybe that is so much better than having to, like, justify things like, I may not have religion, but I still keep on morals with that. I don't, like, explain the shit so people don't think that I am morally evil for not believing in the Levantine war god. Seriously, I actually got to study church history once. I'm going to have it be this. So, the transformation build. Excuse me. Apologies, one of the nannies is here. So the idea is that I'm going to have a transformation belt to my character. He's a Kamen Rider. He needs a transformation belt. I'm going to use the Desire Driver and the idea of the faceplates being slotted onto it as the idea. But I'm also going to take a inspiration from the Seiken Sword Driver. The Seiken Sword Driver is essentially this, and then when it opens up, like, you slot in a book and you pull the sheath, and then it opens up to, like, this little painting. Say, it is very interesting, but you don't believe in a sky admin who gives us free will, but then draws us what we have to use for the free will. Ah, great, you like me. The Christopher Hitchens / Stephen Fry type of, like, the problem of evil and all that, yeah. Funnily enough, I actually do know the origins of Yahweh. He was a storm and war god, specifically of the Hebrew people, in the Levant, where the dominant religion would have been around, like, the Canaanite religion. In fact, here in Wuthering Waves, they actually do address the origins of it as well. I'm not joking. You'll see it later, but essentially I'll give you the rundown. So, let me go give you the rundown via Google. So, we all know that the God of the Bible is kind of fucking bloodthirsty. This war god is actually Yahweh. Yes, Yahweh is actually Baal, he was conflated. So this Yahweh was a war and storm god, specifically of the Hebrew ethnic group who happened to live in there. However, the head god of the religion was called El. Oh, that guy. Not evil, also as a whole, why would that one specific culture of people be the way God would want us to live? Exactly. It's all the colonial bullshit and everything. But let me tell you the origins. This guy was the head god of the Canaanite religion, which Judaism, which would eventually become Christianity, would actually come from. El. Now, El is the reason why the god of the Bible seemingly has bipolar disorder of like, I am a kind, creator god who will nurture my people. Oh, you worship another god? Everyone! Wipe out all of the men, women, children, and animals! What, you didn't? I regret making you the leader, Saul. The reason is because it's a fusion of two completely different gods. Yahweh, a god of the weather and the war, national god of Israel and Judah, and El, a kind grandfatherly god, and by the way, the archangels are specifically meant to be his sons. They got conflated later. So essentially, a kind god fused with an angry war god. You can kind of see the issues that would cause. Wuthering Waves tackles this. So the region that we're going to go into, well, I'm already in it, but I'm going to give you a quick rundown. It's based on Italy, by the way. So the Thrunodian and the Sentinel Imperator. Our main character is essentially like, you could think of it as a Sky Admin, but he's more like a builder of civilization. He has the Sentinels, these godlike beings who act like computer programs under his employ. So there's that. Now, the big dragon would be the Sentinel Jue. This is the Sentinel Jue. It is the patron god, kind of Huanglong, which is meant to be a small town in China. The Sentinel Imperator is this big Pegasus alicorn. This is the Sentinel Imperator. Wait, hold on. The Sentinel Imperator is meant to be this. So the actual good god of the region, who is, by the way, who is specifically given more free will than the other Sentinels, was this. For context, the Thrunodian is basically like evil incarnate. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna confess something. Sometimes I'll go full on Abijah Fowler for the Blue-Eyed Samurai, and I go out to our church when no one is there and just half-mockingly talk to God. I do something similar. Well, sort of. It's more like good for you, actually. But like for me, it's like I know it's a fiction. It's a fictional character. We can hate a fictional character in the same because of the influence that fictional character might have on a culture. So I see Christianity kind of like that. But here's what happens. So in Renacita, there were two factions. One who worshipped the Sentinel Imperator, who actually wanted to help the region, and the Thrunodian, a warlike being who wanted to spread chaos and subjugation. It's therapeutic. I bet it would be very therapeutic. So this is meant to be a representation of Yahweh. This is meant to be El. Now, another thing we need to notice is that Wuthering Waves takes some inspiration from Genshin Impact. Most gacha games which are open world take inspiration from Genshin Impact. It's a given. Genshin Impact takes a lot of themes from a quote-unquote heretical denomination of Christianity, that being Gnosticism. In Gnosticism, the creator of the material world and the creator of the universe are two different beings. The creator of the universe created everything, created a couple aeons, which you can think of them like archangels, and just kind of left. The creator of the material world, of humanity, of the Garden of Eden, and of the Archons, would be Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth is the creator of the world in the Gnostic religion. Yes, the villain of Persona 5, but more like this. I mean, you can see the snake-like parts. Yaldabaoth is a egotistical, selfish, warlike being who thinks of himself like, I am the supreme deity, worship me! You can kind of get the deal. So, obviously, he was like, I like the atmosphere of churches. I used to go to sermons. Mom tried to awaken Christianity in me and my brothers, but it failed for every single one of us. I mean, yeah, I can understand for like a church, it's like, when it's quiet and has like the whole feeling of solidarity between each individual, it's a good thing for communities. The actual doctrines of the religion itself, no, but the way it actually connects community. I mean, my parents are quite devout Catholics. They are not happy that I'm atheist, but they have to cope with it. When I actually point out to my mom about like the origins of the Catholic faith and also like of Judaism in itself, and essentially let her know that, yeah, your God is fictional, and even if he was real, the interpretation of this deity is just the fusion of multiple different gods, which is why the Bible is so contradictory, and also this God commanded genocide. She admitted that her relationship with God is like, it's a personal thing. She doesn't really care about the Bible or the books and stuff like that. She just cares about her own personal connection to this deity and to the faith and stuff like that. So, more like, she cares more about the walking the walk than the actual scripture. I do find that a lot of Catholics who are more chill tend to be like that. The ones who tend to be very big on scripture are either atheists like myself, and probably you as well, who actually want to dissect it and basically point out, hey, this is fiction, or evangelical Protestants. For context, she is the only religious one in our family, and she hasn't been to church in a long time. She gave up on traditional Christianity. I think she wants to have the personal relationship with God, but also, like, doesn't want to follow the doctrines. Quakers. Who can argue with a Quaker? There's pagan Quakers, I'm not joking. There's atheist Quakers. There's Quakers who are gay and trans. Quakers who are just, like, non-confrontational, non-violent. They don't want to tell you about any dogmas. It's just like your personal relationship with God, whatever you find that to be. It can be fictional, it can be non-fictional, depending on what you want. But who can argue with a Quaker with their peaceful ideology of non-violence and non-confrontation, and not wanting to tell anyone what's a dogma? Who can argue with a Quaker? Traditional Christianity can go suck the nuts, because they walk the walk while everyone else just talks the talk. A religion of pure love? Christianity certainly isn't that, but Quakers are. Gotta go eat, I'll be back. I'd definitely love to speak of this topic more once I'm back. Alright, I'll go set up the PowerPoints. Thea, sort of she's practically Jesus, sort of. I'll explain more later. Italian Jesus, who we all love. Oh, by the way, the villain is the Pope. The villain is the Pope. One of the the villains of this arc is the fucking Pope. We are killing the papacy and replacing it with a better pope. Actually, thinking about it, Phoebe has a uniform similar to Quakers. There's the hat and the shawl cloak thing. Are they really gonna go there? Wait, hold on a sec. The Old Man of the Sea. We have to actually finish that story for more context of Phoebe's story. For those in the recording, and I'll explain this to D-Hush when he comes back. Phoebe is an acolyte of the Order of the Deep. Clearly meant to be the Spanish Inquisition, and if not the Spanish Inquisition, it's the Catholic Church. It's the Catholic Church. They rule over the actual island of Raguna. They impose their doctrines in part of law. They have conspiracies specifically to actually have people have their faith, and even worked with the bad guys of Fraxidus, who do horrible human experimentation and war crimes, specifically so that people actually, like, they wanted to do a terrorist thing where, like, they would cause an artificial cataclysm of, like, the entire city being flooded. So it's like, we have strayed too far from the doctrines of our God and shit like that, specifically so that they would be, like, worshipping their deity more and going back to church. You know, kind of like the Nazis and the Catholic Church having their own private dealings, like, what was it, the Concord Act? I think it was the Concord Act, the one where, like, the Catholic Church would have a monopoly on German education at the exchange that they turn a blind eye to what the Nazis did. And also, like, all that. And the fact that the deity is like a fucking fusion between a good deity and an evil war god being fused together, that being the modern Yahweh, a fusion of El, a grandfather of God who was the kind, loving type, even though his wife was fucking warlike, and Yahweh, the evil war god who commanded the slaughter of entire civilizations so that his chosen people could have more quote-unquote living space. I can see the connections between that and Nazi Germany's whole thing of, like, Lebenstraum, our people need more living space. We should take it from the nations around us, specifically because they are our descendants, and God is with us, and shit like that. I can see the connection. It's not hard to see. It ain't hard to see, honestly. But, like, so that's the modern day Yahweh, a fusion between a good god and an evil god. Same thing occurs Hi, Portuguese, hope you can hear this. Hope you have fun at the pub, be very careful, eat some stuff to soak up all the liquid, hope you're alright. That's a friend of mine, she's at a pub. I've never been to a pub, actually. Knowing myself, the only reason I go into the pub is for the food. What is a pub even like? I've never been in a proper pub. I mean, I went to, like, technically I went into a bar with my family with. Wait, what? Wait, what's going on? Why is my account not connecting? Anyway, the whole thing of, like, essentially their deity, Phoebe, was essentially like a good alkalite. I can think of it like specifically a good priest in a corrupt institution. That would be Phoebe. A good alkalite in a corrupt institution with a deity where there's good parts of the doctrine, but there's also bad parts of the fact that there's the deity being such an evil piece of shit, and all things with Calathea too. was the name of the founder of Quakerism? George Fox! English dissenter, founder of the Religious Society of Friends. Phoebe could probably be... Wait, let me see his robes. Okay, so not exactly, but like... Oh! It's because I changed the server! Yeah, I'm not resetting my entire fucking account just to play in another server. When Dish gets back here, I'm gonna give him the mother of all lore dumps. Let's finish our quest now, though. Wait, why is it lagging? Get to the You're new. When Resonate is in the team costs an echo skill, she obtains Afterflame. It's damage dealt by the team stasis.
Ready to join the hunt.
Bayonetta? Are you Bayonetta? What was that?
The hunt ends here.
Would you look at that? A fallen angel with a snake. And she's a good guy. I fucking knew this game had Gnostic themes. And Lupa, who I actually already have. All I need is Brent to finish the Pyro team. Oh, that's what she does. I just get rid of the implementation. Oh, when it's full, press E, switch to the resonator, press R. Hello, Lupa. Please don't forget it next time. I think I did that wrongly. Hey, she's got a wolf tail in ears. I'm back. Ah, welcome back. Would you like the lore dump? Oh, what the hell is going on? Oh, by the way, I already have him, so that's cool. So when I said the game has like Gnostic theming, I wasn't joking. Can we address the elephant in the religious conversation room? Ah, which elephant? The fused god thing, or the fact that... Which elephant? There's so many elephants, there's a herd of elephants. Islam is everything we complained about, dialed up to a 10. Unfortunately, yes. At least there's more. At least people can be more chill with it. But the actual doctrines by itself is pretty bad. I have nothing against the actual people of Islam. I have nothing against Muslims. They're fine. They're completely fine. Except the jihadists and the more extreme ones who kill people. They can fuck right off. Most of the people, though, who actually are religious in that one, they're chill. I live in a country where Islam's the majority religion, and thankfully there's no one doing fucking jihads. No, it's like, you can have a mosque on one side of the street, a Catholic parish on the other side of the street. They have the individual religious ceremonies. I don't know what the Muslim equivalent of a mass is, but they have it at the same time. They go out. The people go for lunch. At least they're somewhat chill in that regard. The individual doctrines itself, if they follow it to the letter, is bad. The issue with religion is the fact that, sure, you can say most people of the religion aren't like that, and religious extremists are the bad parts. The only issue is, if it's already written in your book, and just reading your doctrine could lead to someone doing that, that's pretty bad. And unfortunately, a lot of religions result in that. It's like, you read the Bible and do fundamentalist shit, you get a horrible society, where women are oppressed and have no rights, where slaves are allowed, where for some reason the difference between men and women is not understood, and people think that women are just men with inverted penises. I am not joking. Like, it sucks. I have an issue with religion as a concept in the modern day, in the forms that we see it. Could you tell that I watched Christopher Hitchens and Stephen Fry? Stephen Fry, and we didn't even need oil. I, however, don't want to be mistaken as Islamophobic. I have nothing against Muslims, and I know that attacking someone for their faith is a solution to man's main reason it's popular. Life is not a problem to be solved. Yes, however, humans crave meaning. In a world which is uncertain, humans want something to act as a framework so they can pin their understanding on that. People make deities because they want to feel protected in a world which is uncertain and is dangerous. I can understand the need for it in ancient times, but I think... I'll quote Friedrich Nietzsche. God is dead and we have killed him. It means that through the Enlightenment, through us gaining knowledge of empirical knowledge, of like empirical information, proof, and everything like that, we have outgrown the need for organized religion such as Christianity. I'll also quote Stephen Fry. I have nothing against individual members of the faith. They are entitled to the sacraments, the Blessed Virgin Mary, and to worship Jesus Christ. They completely... I have nothing against them in that regard. The institution is what we should attack, not the individuals. I want to talk about how it actually relates to this game, by the way. So, essentially, our main character is He's not a god, but he's a builder of civilizations sent to this planet, and then he had his memories erased. The Sentinel Imperator is that big unicorn thing I showed you earlier. That was his subordinate. Now, we don't actually know much about his past, or like his past self. For all we know, he could have been an asshole. Apparently, he might have been like illogic, like pure logic and no emotion, like that. The Sentinel Imperator was a being of a winged horse with the wind. The opposite of these fish things here. The Threnodian. I would consider myself a stoic. Ah, like the Greek Stoics. Very nice. I'd consider myself a humanist. I could be considered an angry atheist in some regards, but it's more that I hate with the institutions that cause harm to my fellow human beings. Life has no meaning, so why not be kind? I agree. Life has no inherent meaning. We are not built with a purpose. It is up to us to discover what our own personal purpose is. For purpose is subjective. You could view creation as our purpose. You could view procreation as it, if you want to be rather bland. You can consider protection of your fellow primates as meaning. It's subjective. So I'll give you the rundown of the lore. For this region, which is indeed based on Italy, you can kind of say with the architecture and everything. Why is it lagging? There were two gods. Well, I think we have the... Do we have it somewhere here? Ah, the gallery, perfect. This was the Arbiter, the Sentinel Imperator. He was a deity, well, who was specifically, he was granted extra free will by the Rover over here. We call him Rover because he is a traveler. I don't even know how happy I am to find someone. I can't talk about this with someone outside of Chechia. Don't worry. I'm an atheist. And you're safe here. Oh. Yeah, I would find someone you can talk with this outside of Chechia. Indeed. So the Threnodian itself. It's a force of destruction. Oh, we can't see the cutscenes. That's unfortunate. I love those cutscenes. They were beautiful. It's in the archives? The Dark Time. Okay, so here's Sentinel Imperator. In the Faith of the Order of the Deep, they are depicted as a being with the upper body of a horse and the lower body of a fish. According to Raguna legends, the Imperator guided its settlers to this promised land, offering them sanctuary from the threat of the Lament. The Lament is the evil force of destruction. So now we go to what the Threnodian is. Can't find it. Okay, guess I'm explaining it myself. Okay, here we go. The Threnodian is a force of destruction. It is the thing which is what created these evil monsters, all these things. That's what it is. The Sentinel Imperator is specifically given the role: research the Threnodian, understand it, report the information back to me and the Black Shores. Black Shores is like it's a, not society, but it's like an organization focused on the preservation of humanity and fighting the Threnodian. So the Sentinel Imperator is specifically given more administrative control over stuff like that. So, the Imperator is meant to represent El, the benevolent deity. The Threnodian over here is meant to represent Yahweh, specifically the Gnostic interpretation of Yahweh, that being a false divinity. It created the material world, but only to satisfy itself. It is an evil god. Malevolent god and demiurge. Identified as a false god who keeps souls trapped in physical bodies, imprisoned in the material universe. Now, we have echoes. We have, well, not echoes. Specifically, we have evil echoes. Those being these, tacit discords. I think they have an explanation for what those are. Do they have an explanation what TDs are? Hold on. Essentially, any lingering wills or memories in an area we can eventually link together and clump together into things like this. The promise is... Pardon me, I'm receiving a phone call. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a broadcast. I'm currently live. I'm gonna be done at 6 a.m. So it's going to be all night. I don't know. Pardon me, everyone. Family matter. I'll be right back. Apologies, that was my auntie. Anyway. Yalda Beoth keeps souls trapped in the physical bodies of the material world. The Threnodian, essentially the source of tacit discords. Vast mixture of human frequencies detected within its physical form. Hold on, wait. Okay. So, like, the exhilaration of thirst of victory, the fear and resentment of loss, humanity's long-suppressed barbarism is reified into the crownless and inflected against itself. This is one example. This evil deity, essentially, is meant to be this. So what happened? The Threnodian and the Sentinel Imperator, through some convoluted means, ended up fusing together. And why? Because this is only one part of the Threnodian. It's a branch of it. In order to actually... The Wi-Fi's dying. Oh god. So essentially, in order to defeat the Threnodian as a whole, the Central Imperator decided, I'm going to fuse with it and analyze it from the inside out. However, this ended up causing them to be fused together. So now this is the god which the people of Renacita, so the people of the town, the city of Raguna, actually worship. A fusion of a good and evil god. One who is allegedly good but does evil things. Hence why there's fins and a fishtail at the back. I was seeing the parallel between this and the modern day Yahweh. So that is the connection here. Now, then we have the whole thing of Jesus Christ in the context of Gnosticism. Someone originally invented by the Aldebaoth, where they tried to specifically try to deceive all of humanity and have them be subservient to its will. That was meant to be her, Cartothea, who, yes, was meant to be a resonator, aka, you can think of it like a stand user of both the Threnodian and the Central Imperator. So, it's a robot. She was constructed specifically to resonate with the Threnodian, having a human vessel in order to actually do its thing. Now, a chosen maiden would have been... She was meant to be a chosen maiden being like someone who would actually inherit the power and use them alongside, like fight alongside the Sentinel itself. In the case of Huang Long, we have the Sentinel Jue, the big dragon, and her resonator. Essentially, these are meant to the resonators of the Sentinels. This is the Sentinel, by the way, Sentinel Jue, are meant to have like a human host to, like a human surrogate to essentially help rule the kingdoms and keep the world stable. She was meant to be the Sentinel Imperator's resonator, but as a result would also end up being the resonator for the Threnodian, aka literal Satan, or like evil incarnate. Through some convoluted means, she was essentially, half of her was sealed, half of her in her true form would be locked away. Here is her true form, by the way. Yeah, she's in her 30s, but she looks 20. This is her true form. So, let me go get it. It actually explains what she was right here. The fabricated maiden, aka the maiden was essentially meant to be like, they would inherit a sword which essentially held a fraction of the power of the Central Imperator. Now, someone else who wasn't meant to be the maiden received the vision, was chosen, and then she gave that power back to the Sentinel so that way it would have enough power to try and wrench control back. A vessel forged by divine hands, her birth was a carefully constructed, orchestrated plot. Life is but a puppet's dance amongst the strings of fate, yet as she gazes into the designed past and yearns for a future she has longed for, the sword she wields shall cleave the very child of destiny, and now she craves an end. So what happened? Through some convoluted means, the physical body of Cartothea, who was named Fleur de Lis in her adulthood, would seal the Imperator and the Sentinel inside of herself, the fuse god. her mind would be Cartathea. Think of it like astral projection, essentially. That would be her. She would contact us, and she would need to die for the Threnodian to die, because the Threnodian is now linked to her body. Through some even more convoluted means, with the Threnodian dying because we stabbed Fleur-de-Lis with our sword, essentially we fused with the soul of Cartathea to destroy the body. We're still held a bit of a will. God is dead because we killed him. We literally kill God. Technically. That's what this is. So then essentially, a data backup of Sentinel Imperator, who itself decided to actually make that just in case, is revived, and with the loss of its power decides to revive Cartathea. So she's alive, she can switch in between herself and the Fleur-de-Lis form. In fact, yeah, it's just her. Keep in mind, this is a woman in her 30s, and she still does... And she does, well... This is a woman in her 30s, gee hush. She's like 33. So that's her. I might have lost and killed a god to get paid. Nice. So essentially, I'm explaining in a very convoluted way, but like, the story that we had so far, and that we entered when we were still in Raguna, the theistic city, is we essentially killed God. Technically, the Sentinel Imperator used the last of its power to bring her back to life, fusing her with her true body, that being this. By the way, she is mentally... She may look like this, she is mentally still this. Mentally still this. It's just a form change. I'm not joking, she is still 33, but she acts like that. She's goofy, and honestly she didn't have much of a childhood, so, you know, she might as well. So that is her. The moral of the message they try to give is essentially, I think, God, God is already dead. So now you have to find your own path of living. So why do I say this? Because we have a member of the Church of the Order of the Deep, which worship that fused God, in Phoebe. But she's a genuinely good person. She works in an orphanage, she gives donations, she does her best to take care of the people of the city. So now it's like, what do you ground your morality in? What do you ground your reality in? Because God is dead. The Sentinel Imperator is dead alongside the Threnodian, but the Sentinel Imperator is dead. God is dead. We killed him. We stabbed him through the stomach. Now, we didn't want to, but we had to. We can take what was good about the religion we were grown up with, take out the good parts and keep that close to our hearts, and get rid of the bad stuff, which I think that's what she's meant to do. We can find our own path in life. We can rebel. Yes, she does have horns, and yes, she's a sort of demon. We can be good in our own manners, in our own way. You can find morality in a way which has nothing to do with any divinity. It instead has to do with human dignity and everything. I say this because this is the town of this is a theistic city. But we have a second region now, which, yes, is still based on Italy, but is specifically based on Rome. It's called Septimont. They don't worship gods or divinities. They worship heroes, people, humans, great humans with their past accomplishments. I should probably try better with my character since we have level 17, practical the power of his secret hidden incana. This is still a coward, his unresolved Antichrist found he was a mimic and lacks critical thinking. I think a good character arc for him would be like... It's a character arc in Kamen Rider, essentially. It's... I may have had evil origins, but I can still protect the people I care about, and my origins don't matter. Or like, I may be a monster, but I'll protect people. It's quite a common trope, but it is good for a reason. Anyway, the second city, Septimont, far beyond the borders of Nisita. Here's a funny thing, actually. Septimont is a very atheistic society. They're a warrior culture. They value strength, determination. The closest thing they have to a god is the lioness of glory here, but it's more like, I know they've been with us for a while, so like, we're thankful to them because they helped us. It's more like the way that you would be thankful to like a guardian, rather than, we worship them. No, it's more like, yeah, thanks for helping my ancestors, by the way. Yeah, you can stick around. Funny thing is, travel restrictions. For anyone from Septimont wanting to enter Raguna, they are not allowed by the Order of the Deep, who not only is the church, but is also the government. They're like, you are godless and therefore you are heretics, you are not to enter our city. It's not the same the other way around. If anyone wants to go from Raguna to Septimont to actually watch the tournament game, which are more akin to like an MMA match or like HEMA, rather than, you know, killing each other in gladiatorial matches, but it's called gladiatorial. But it's more like, you know, fight to first blood or fight until you know, surrender rather than fight till death. If anyone else would go from Laguna and Septimont to watch it, they're like, yeah, sure, come in. It kind of reminds me of like, when I was religious, I was not very welcoming. And neither was anyone else I knew who was religious. Homophobic as all hell. Describing people of other religions as like, oh, you know, love the sinner but hate the sin. What's their sin? Worshipping a deity that you don't worship? Loving someone who you don't agree with? What's their sin? Nothing really. So then we have that. But then when I see atheists, and when I became atheist, I don't really care about people's religion. It's like, you're a good person. I'll set your doctrines aside. Because even though you're part of a bad institution, you're a good person. I have found that a lot of atheists are like non-Christians, because I'm friends with someone who's pagan, by the way. She worships like pagan deities, I'm not sure which specific ones. She can do magic, apparently. She also has deity, but that's a different matter. She's been one of the kindest, most welcoming people I've ever seen. That's a funny thing. Most of the atheists I got to meet up with, like, they're completely fine with people of other religions. And that kind of, the fact that Septimon is like, they're completely chill with people of like, oh, you worship that deity? It's like, okay, well, you can still come in. It kind of reminds me of that. It's like, the super religious society is like, you are godless! You are disgusting! You shall not step foot in our land! And then for like, when anyone from the religious place wants to come here, it's like, yeah, sure, you can come in. I said, yeah, sure, come in. Here's the seat right here. I find that really funny. But it's like, yeah. Like, obviously there'd be a few angry people, a few angry atheists who are like, we hate people because of their religion. And honestly, like, you and I, we're not that, thankfully. We're certainly not the extremists. We're like, we understand the religion is fucked up. We understand the institution is fucked up. But the individual people, most of them are chill. They're like, They even grapple with their own doctrines by themselves. So there's the law dump. So yeah, separation of church and state. It's good, because if you don't, you're gonna have the Spanish Inquisition. And also, like, I think, like I mentioned Quakers. Quakerism was specifically made by, like, George Fox. He was a founder of the Quakers. He rebelled against the religious and political authorities by proposing an unusual, uncompromising approach to the Christian faith. Essentially, we must go back to a religion of pure love, where we welcomed everyone, loved our neighbors, we loved ourselves. None of this elitism, none of this hating the sinner and everything, because what is their sin? What is their sin? Because she has the hat, she has like little shawl here. I at first thought she was meant to be like the Spanish Inquisition, because like the Order of the Deep is meant to look like the Catholic Church. I mean, let me show you the fucking cathedral. This is their main building. It looks like the Vatican. They have the giant carpets and everything. The children running around and children being adopted in there as an orphanage. The glamour and the gold and the glamour, the gold statues, despite claiming to be humble and everything. The fucking armed guards. And if you run inside of the chapel, you get an achievement literally called Atheist. And also, the Pope is here. Yes, the Pope. We have a Pope in here. Claims to be humble, but like, look at all the gold and the glamour and everything, and like, look, there's the Pope. A Pope who was practically like an apologist. People abusing their authority of like, hey, if you don't want to be sent on one of those missionary missions, which you'll definitely not return from, you better do what I say. Like this guy.
In the presence of the just divinity, feel free to express your doubts. I shall speak without reservation.
We eventually have to fight him, by the way.
There will be no deceit.
Full content of Fraxidus. Think of them like Nazis. They do human experimentation, they try and infuse people with monsters, they want to take over the world and destroy order, they worship the Trinodian and everything. So here's why.
We uphold the sentiment of principles of justice. The gates to our divine land remain open to all who seek it. This is a city of inclusiveness, welcoming all visitors, including those who try to overstep. These charlatans misled our people with lies and flattery, diverting them from the path.
Now, this is what apologists will do. Deflection. Trying to affirm their morals while also completely missing the point. It's like, yeah, you say that, but your church, your flock, your subordinates, and you yourself too, you worked with them to try and cause an artificial apocalypse so people would go back to worshipping your deity.
But your timely intervention corrected their course, sparing them from ruinous fate. Once again, I offer my sincerest gratitude.
You're at fault. So the big glamour and gold and the whole signs here, like the giant golden plaque there, and the big statue, trumpets everywhere. All the glamour and the gold and the marble pillars and sort of Byzantine-ish architecture. This is meant to be the Catholic Church. So there's that. Also the whole thing of like the Nazis and the Catholic Church collaborating. Yeah, that happened. The Concord Act, signed with Adolf Hitler. The Catholic Church were getting a monopoly on the education in Germany if they just turned a blind eye to everything. I'm not fucking joking, that's a thing. Actually, was it Concordat with them or Mussolini? It says the Concordat. Let's see. The 1933 Reichskonkordat between Nazi Germany and the Vatican. Treaty negotiated between the Vatican and the emergent Nazi Germany. Yeah, by Pope Pius. So there's that. So, you know, the Catholic Church analog working with, like, the literal evil, most evil things ever, who are worshipping a god of destruction and death and war, who kill people, do human experimentation. Unfortunately, basis in reality. There is a basis in reality for this shit. Now, what was I doing? Ah, yes. Ishmael. Wait, that's meant to be like the answers to all Muslims, if I recall. Let's do Carlotta's first. Alright, I'm going to do this friend quest first. I'll give you a bit of context on who Carlotta is. Now, this is Italy, which means we have the Mafia. Here's Carlotta. She's the second daughter of the head of the Montelli family. They run the bank. They maintain order in the streets. And she is the main enforcer. She calls herself the main executor. She's the head enforcer. She's like second in line, so she's not going to be the next boss. But like, she's the head enforcer of the Familia. They refer to themselves as the Familia. Now, they also have a rivalry with the Phasaelias. Now, the Montelli family, the one that Carlotta's part of, she's Carlotta Montelli, they fight for progress. They fight for innovation. The Phasaelias have... like, they serve the original Central Imperator, so, like, they're more conservative, essentially. What we're doing is that we're going to be a detective on her behalf to try and, like, weed out corruption in her family. So let's see.
Seems someone is acting faster. Who's two? They're my uncle's agents, Sage and David.
Those are not their real names.
We address each other by code names, and we identify as in a crowd. I'll keep you updated on the family members' code names we encounter, along with any other details you might need.
She's Opal, by the way, and with a cat's eye.
Seems that they are looking for something as well. It's only natural my uncle wishes to retrieve the lost items. My presence might raise a few eyebrows.
So essentially, she suspects that her uncle, I think her uncle's like the boss, might be corrupt and is working in a way which will not benefit the family and Renacita as a whole. Hence why she's doing this. It's her job to actually weed out corruption in the family, hence why she's the head enforcer. At least they're the good kind, and not, you know, the I'm so sorry that I'll have to inform your family that you'll be missing your daughter's birthday kind of thing. At least she's not that. I'll have a little chat with them to see what they know.
Yes, you try and loosen their lips. If memory serves, they are senior members, having served under my uncle for years. Regulars at margaritas, talk business with merchants, and wine with drinkers. Engage their interests, and their words will flow like a river. As for the rest,
I'll improvise as needed. Oh, by the way, this is Italy, so guess what? There is a reference to pineapple on pizza. Do you want to see what it says? So here's the normal pizza. Pizza classica. It's a margherita pizza. Traditional dish from Renacita topped with gemberry jam, which would be like tomato sauce, like the actual sausage tomato, cheese and smoked sausage. When it comes out of the oven, it fills the air with a rich aroma. There's a man who swore he'd never have olives on his pizza, but the more he resisted, the more olives he got. I think that's a reference to Dante from Devil May Cry. Because, yeah, this is the same company that made Punishing Grey Raven. Now, do you want to see the entry for pineapple on pizza? Because it is just pineapple on pizza. It's called Pizza Tropicale. Tropical pizza. Would you like to see the reaction? Or more accurately, like... Would you like to see what was actually the actual journal entry? Not journal entry, but like the actual entry for it? That's pinged. Oh. Ooh. Hey, D, how's she still there? I guess he's gone. Oh well. Sage, Acorn, hello. Acorn, Sage.
That's you they're calling. No, I thought it was. I didn't recognize this person. It's fine. Listen on.
Why do they sound Irish? Acorn? Sage.
You got everything right. Must be family. Who are you?
I'm Cat's Eye, new to the family.
Cat's eye. Doesn't bring me along. Probably one of those new recruits after the carnival. So, what do you need? We are just about to wrap up and grab a bite at Margarita's. Still got a lot on our plate today.
Oh, margaritas. Nothing quite like it, huh? And the pizza? Oh, it's a favorite in my circle, too.
Always a solid choice with food.
I hope you're not referring to the pineapple one.
The last time I was there, I heard talk about a thief stealing from the vault. Is that true?
Well, cat's out the bag now. See that house right there? That's where the thief lived. We came searching clues.
Did you recover the stolen goods?
We've looked everywhere, but found nothing. To be honest, I doubt we'll ever find them. The thief has probably sold everything off by now. We are short on manpower. That's me when a haystack, that's me.
Boss doesn't seem too worried. Is there a plan B?
Well, our boss is the Padrino's son. He has his methods. Our job is to follow orders, not to ask questions. Just do what we're told and do it well. That's right. If you spot anything unusual, keep an eye on it. Don't take your big break. With a bit more time, I think you'll do it.
I'm here with Carlotta. Mafia shenanigans, everyone. We rendezvous with Carlotta after the investigation and share the information we gathered.
So, they found nothing, but assumed Uncle wasn't concerned. That makes no sense. Everything that happened recently ties back to the vault. If Uncle wished to protect his position, he'd be quick to retrieve the items and resolve the situation.
Essentially, her uncle is the boss. The godfather. So the fact that stuff was stolen out of his bank and he's all worried is kind of odd. Maybe he's hiding something.
Bennett was last sighted in the vicinity of Liberty Square, where he met Uncle. Last night, I was investigating the area before I happened upon your private meeting.
That explains why you were there.
But when I brought this up with him afterwards, he didn't seem privy to any details. As for my search of Bennett's home, Nothing of note turned up, just as the two agents reported.
For context, Bennett was one of the people who stole from the vault, and was also working with the Thessalians and the Order of the Deep and the Therodian.
No spoils. Not even the faintest trace of them being stored or moved. Everything about his living space fits the profile of a typical junior vault employee. I also asked around about Bennett after our previous collaboration. He was ambitious, but never greedy. I was even told he refused a bribe offered by a business associate during an operation. The Montelli family is ever generous with wealth and opportunities, welcoming all who aspire to make their mark in Laguna. Mere profit would never make him betray us.
The firm protects its members.
For now, more evidence is required. The entire matter might need to be approached from a different angle.
Is that?
Still. See that man over there, the one that looks like a grey dog?
From inside not far away, a man, partially hidden, is frequently glancing in your direction. He seems to be observing you and Carlotta. Noticing your gaze, he immediately starts running.
Quick.
Yep, let's go. You cannot escape! Pardon me, good sir. I'd like to have a word with you.
Nowhere to run. Now it's time for a coffee chat.
Bones on mine. Did I offend you? Or are you just chasing down every passing soul? Tell us why so aggressive.
Just a glance and you can tell where Montel is.
No one knows the family's ways better than its members, even though he's no longer one of us. Right, old Duncan?
I must admit, you have an annoyingly good memory. It's remarkable for someone of your rank, a man such as myself.
I will never forget that story now. Nor any of the members who were caught in it.
Sadly, I've no desire to be one. To me, Montelli is only a name of the past. There were moments of joy. They cannot make up for my loss. Now, I'm tired.
You say one thing but do another.
Go back to what you claimed after the past. Unless there's something you can't ignore.
You were standing across from Bennett's doorway, and your clothes are still damp from the rain. You weren't simply passing by, you were watching. What were you looking for? Or, should I ask, what did you hope to find?
I don't know.
Rodinka.
To breathe for my last friend and family. To blame him for being so reckless and greedy. Or to figure out how this fool ended up in such a mess. Hoping to find the lost items, settle his debts, so he may rest in peace. I tried to persuade him to leave with me, but failed. In Raguna's game, the Montelli family has only two options. We either play to win, or are forced to leave with nothing. Every Montelli has a chance of their desires. But what's the price? They stake everything they hold dear. Family, love, faith, principles, and even their life. Now, his ambition and greed have cost him everything.
But you can decide when to leave the table.
Most people find acceptance easier than change, as change demands the bravery to face uncertainty. No
Okay, so it's not like a traditional mafia family, because they can leave at any time.
If you're willing, there is still much to be done for Ben. His terminal, the alleged stolen goods, everything but his body remains missing. Given your familiarity, you might help us in locating these items.
Bennett's death may not be as simple as it looks.
In that case, you might want to speak to Scarlet Velvet.
Is Scarlet Velvet?
The leader of a network of commoners seeking freedom in Laguna. They had close ties with Benny. If he was really Steve, I'd wager they were enemies. That said, with their recent fallout with the family, I can't guarantee we'll find them, let alone talk to them.
We have little choice but to try. Let's go. We're off to the most reliable source of information in Laguna.
Hold on, my keyboard's got a lot of dust in it. Oh, I need a brush. Hey, Deha, is she still there?
This is the place.
The best place for information is an open-air pub.
In Raguna's market, they say fortune seldom favors those who have a taste for fine.
Then I guess I'm unlucky because I don't like the taste of alcohol.
Among traders, there's a secret code in the way drinks are mixed. The base of bitter almond and mint, for instance, usually signals danger and death. But some have devised their own more private codes.
So, it's not a drink, it's a conversation.
Yes. This area is essentially a neutral zone in the city. No affiliations, no restrictions. With the ongoing feud between Scarlet Velvet and the Montellis, finding her will be difficult. But I've heard they have eyes and ears here. So all that remains is to order the right drink, watch the crowd, and let their reactions lead us to Scarlet Velvet's contact.
Greetings. What will it be today?
A Scarlet Velvet ribbon, please.
Scarlet Velvet? An uncommon choice. Perhaps the one you seek is waiting just as patiently. May you both find what you've come for.
Is that an actual drink? No, it's not an actual drink.
Gosh, whiskey and cherry tomatoes. Blood orange gin. That drink you have there is quite rare. Would you mind telling me what it means?
You'll know when you need to.
A riddle cloaked in mystery. You don't want to share, huh? Oh, sorry. I am just simply enthralled by symbols and codes.
Grand schemes occupy your time.
I've been exploring how drinks might encode numerical values through alcohol content or vintage, perhaps. Lately, I'm starting to wonder if the drink itself even matters.
The key to any language lies in the shared rules and agreements between both parties. With that in mind, the same drink or even the same object can be given countless meanings. Much like how my people and I sometimes improvise codes with whatever's available.
For an instant, I feel the gaze of from where I got my drink, but it vanishes as soon as I turn to look.
Sounds like you've been at this code research started to shoot.
Is she suspecting the bartender?
Let me see. We got here quite early, and he was here about the same time. Probably around 8 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you. That's all I needed.
The wild desires, they swim in the roaring waves. Oh, how madness I'd forsake it all, just to be forever lost in the and a drink, a deadly poison,
Or a healing tonic.
Excuse me.
no, leave me be, don't bother me. The endless void is consumed. I want no part in anything. You, who am I? Montelli, Phasalia, the Order, the Commoners. Without these names, what sets us apart? But reality is cruel, and we have no refuge.
Is he just drunk or completely out of it?
Let's go. Clearly, he's not the one we're looking for.
Snack list. Feeling tired of drinks, Raguna's bars also provide and also offer a selection of delicious snacks to refresh your palate. Unlike drinks full of cozy, snacks are simple and complimentary with drinks. Saint Domingo or chocolate. So from the rich chocolate tease your taste buds, the bittersweet harmony of orange jam and wine, leaving a lingering aftertaste. Earl Grey cake. Oh, I had one of these actually in the past. A black tea infused base combined with a refreshing scent of citrus delivers a mellow flavor that lingers without a hint of bitterness. I had one actually from this Kindango, I think was the name of the restaurant. It was a Japanese restaurant. The symbol was like a ginkgo leaf. Quite nice. Too pricey. Wine soaked cherry sabayon. What's a sabayon? Sabayon. Oh. Or zabaglione. Egg yolk, sugar, sweet wine. Sometimes they incorporate spirits such as cognac. The dessert version is a light custard which incorporate a large amount of air. Oh, this is what it is. That's interesting. Ripe crimson cherries bathed in a creamy blend of eggs and sweet wine, lightly caramelized for a smoky finish. Voluble. What does voluble mean? Does it mean loud? Talkative. Oh, talking fluidly, readily, or incessantly. Ah. Pardon me, madam.
Oh, there you are. I noticed you as soon as you walked in.
Care to join me for a drink?
Don't get me wrong. I've only been here long enough to recognise that drink, but I'm not making any guarantees on that. That swagger and flair. You're with the Montelli family, am I right?
How do you know?
Well, I'm not the one you came for, but don't dash off just yet. You don't know what I have up my sleeve, you know? How about you let me prove how reliable I can be for your family? Go on, test me.
Tell them this.
If you're talking about Bennett Montelli, he's right at the heart of the family's latest drama. It is. He has broken the family's boat. But one of his greatest moments was recovering a lost shipment with the family's young lady. Isn't life full of ironies?
Impressive. You've proved yourself capable. 3 days from now, at this hour, return here and order a golden ears menu. Watch for someone wearing a green tourniquet.
What's a tourmaline? Out of stone. It looks like a watermelon. Green tourmaline. It looks like an emerald. What's this asking? Let's hand it to him.
Anything else I can get you? Or is there a problem with the drinks?
No, we're here for you.
Expected from a scarlet velvet informant. You are smart. In a place like this, a bartender is the perfect color, the least noticed, with the best view. Who makes every drink and pass every code. You might not understand all of them, but nothing of importance ever escapes you. So this scarlet velvet ribbon is meant for you. Am I correct, sir?
Well, well. It finds its way back to me at last. A drink of trouble, I call it. Contact has been made, and by the rules, a conversation should follow. But Scarlet Velvet has decided there will be no further dealings with the Montellis. Partnership is broken, and whatever bond you had is all but gone. If you do meet up, Lady Carlotta, aren't you afraid things might turn?
There's no need to fight when we can talk.
It's rumored that Scarlet Velvet's decision to end our partnership has something to do with a vault keeper named Bennett.
Surely you don't believe that nonsense.
Then what is the truth? Bennett was recently found dead in the wild. The dead are silent. You are not. So let's talk.
Wait, Bennett is dead?
Seems like the news hasn't reached you.
That complicates things, I'm afraid. I'm not sure if trusting Montelli is a wise choice, but in memory of Bennett, if you truly are as noted as he believed, go to Whisperwind Haven afterwards. I will inform the story.
Let's go. Oh! It smells of hypocrisy in here. Oh, if it isn't the Catholic Church.
Terminals are divine artifacts from the center, brought to Renesika by the first prince. What you possessed were nothing but privately made replicas, existing solely by the grace of the prince. How dare you defy our cleansing of such blasphemy?
We never stopped asking Yorda for permission to wear the terminals, but every single request is denied. You won't even tell us why. You controlled the terminal supply, and the family stopped trading with us. These are all we have left. Why should we hand them over?
I can sense your fervent desire for the artifacts and the blessings from the center. But whether you are worthy of the terminals is for the Order to decide. If you willingly part with your wealth in devotion to the Order's divine cause, the door to forgiveness might still be open. But should you persist in your defiance, we'll have to escort you to the penitentiary for judgment.
People are quarreling over here.
Order and the commoners. Must be Scarlet Velvet causing the stir. The Order's arrogance is known, but such blatant actions. Is it because they're far from the heart of the city? Let's first address their troubles, and then we'll have a proper talk. Still recognize me?
The stage is set. Tonight's challenge has arrived.
Ah, the Montelli's second daughter, and this year's rival. I suggest you tread carefully and avoid crossing the Order and the center, especially not for the sake of
To the Catholic Church, alright. The Sentinel's dead! I killed him with my bare hands! And then he made a data backup of himself and then revived my friend.
Must I remind you again? Trading reserved terminals is a breach of the discipline.
All I see is you taking what's rightfully theirs.
We paid good money for these. If you're taking them, blast wins.
Yet the very traders who took money have seen the error of their ways and reported your deeds. They have sworn to repent for their illicit production and cease all trade with you.
So you're talking the mentalities.
Such loyalty to your family, only to be left in the dark. No one bothered to inform you, did they?
Oh, please. My ties with the family are not so fragile as to be shaken by mere words. The fact that we're having this conversation at all means that you cannot ignore my statements. Wouldn't you agree? The Sentinel and the Primus have declared free trade as our undeniable right. Scarlet Velvet is always entitled to trade as they please, regardless of their previous partnerships. You preach the doctrine, yet fail to adhere to it yourself. If I were you, I'd be on my way to the penitentiary. Willful transgression is the worst blasphemy one can imagine.
Mark my words. The day Montelli is brought to its knees by the Order and Thessalia will be the day you beg for the Sentinel's mercy. When that day comes, all shall be under the Order's control. And it will not be long in coming.
Yeah, we already had subverted the disaster. What else you got?
Ernesto, the bartender, said you needed to see me. You may have just offended us, but you heard it. Your family has left us in a mess. Frankly, I don't see the point in having this conversation. But since Ernesto said it's about Bennett, I'll give you a minute. For his sake. Speak quickly.
What you heard could be another lie from the Order.
Regardless of the bigger picture, your side ended we were informed at short notice to stop all trade. And it's not just the terminals. No more jewellery, perfumes and all that nonsense. You saw what happened to them. Not to mention, I haven't seen them on telly for nearly 2 weeks. Where were you when we were fighting against the Order and the Thessalias?
Montelli has been dealing with its own troubles lately.
Slight to of a traitor in the vault. So our hands were tied.
You should have beat around the bush.
A direct approach might have best it. Actually, what that acolyte claimed is news to me. Surrendering control and ceasing trade are not in the Montelli's vocabulary.
All I need to clean my glasses. Something tells me she's on a higher rank than like a capo or regime. She's not a consigliere, of course, definitely. I assume she's not a consigliere, but probably like an underboss or something.
The Montelli creed is family first, pioneering something second.
With your grandfather, maybe. But he won't be around for that. When Capello takes the helm, you run this. The real question is whether we can get our trade back on track. Can the family still be trusted? What I need is a solid promise from someone in charge. One thing's for sure. I don't want to see the family who first broke the monopoly to trade with us commoners end up defending it.
I'll speak with my uncle and grandfather to see what happened with our cooperation.
You know what? This is supposed to be your family's business. I'm saying this to you. Excuse my early words. Sorry, Ernesto told me Bennett's died. What happened? You seemed fine last time.
Some say he got himself from stealing from the vault. And then there were rumors that he helped him fence the stolen items. Of course, we think there's more to the story.
Good judgment there. The rumours are nonsense. Fencing stolen goods. Thieves. Bennett used to handle our shipments for the vault, but everything was above board. Nothing shady, okay? of us never budged on prices either. For him, it was always business first, friendship second. When he was running late, he'd stay up at that hill sometimes. Or even set up a shelter there after packing up some coins. That's all. He did stay there for a while the last time we saw him. Asked us to stash something too. What was it he said? We don't need to use it.
So he left something behind on purpose.
Seems Bennett may have anticipated the trouble ahead. I wonder if you might show us to the shelter. We'd be most grateful.
There's an entrance along the coast. Go straight down the road and you'll see it. What's your business there, anyway?
To test our hypothesis and see if there's anything of importance hidden. I'm gonna eat a slice of cheese. Ah.
The power to split. I alone will decide whether it's for sure or for battle.
Okay, let me go look at the build guide for Carlotta. Let's try prioritize. Ah. Do we have any? Six, 12, 18, 18. Nine. Six, 22, we need 18. This is apparently one of the most powerful teams in the game. Sokoda.
Watch out. Quickly and swiftly. Still recognize me? Surrender. You will yield. Here comes the helper. Still recognize me? Still be safe. Rally won't save me. Reach me. Close me. You can tell someone was here. Look at the mess. Perhaps Bennett deliberately arranged it this way as a cover. We'll each use our senses to search. Then let's gather and analyze the clues we find.
Good idea. Small teleconverter device. Oh, dishes.
These items aren't exactly rare. Not everyday objects either. They seem out of place here. Looks like Bennett might be deliberate.
Indeed. But what I find strange is these items. Don't they seem familiar? You recall those 3 lines from the anthology? The ones Bennett sent to me in the photo?
Seems a connection.
Thy eyes guide my course in the tempest. The woman in the painting seems to stand in the gloomy rain, but her eyes remain bright.
The sun refers to the letters ML and CL under the eyes.
Like the secret code in dreams, what matters is never the object themselves, but the shared rules and agreements between both parties. Now the book. It appears to be about winter, which is likely related to the second line, 40 winters.
Try page 40. 1, 9, and 0.
That one is a rotor device. The planet
Revolves right twice and a half. 4, 6, 8.
LCL 190468. That full name. That's a vault storage code. Of course it is. Bennett was a vault keeper. What was he trying to convey in such a cryptic manner? 4 letters. The highest clearance level in the vault. Could it be? Hold on.
What did you find? Where did you find it?
And you to wonder. But it was not in good shape after what it went through. Yeah, if you can use it at all, data and the records inside might need to be recovered.
Understood. I'll have someone pick it up for restoration.
Wait, what now? What, you're not even gonna check?
Is it a good thing we found the terminal?
Really? Just worry it might be too tricky to repair.
Alright. We'll inform you when there's more to share.
Should we go get the terminal? Or the item, or see what item the code represents?
We're returning to the Montelli quarter first. The terminal will be fixed there. As for the codes, we'll figure it out once we arrive. You might not know this, but Bennett was never granted the highest clearance.
It means Bennett might not be guilty after all, just as you suspected.
It's replaced by another suspicion. One I am reluctant to entertain. Unfortunately,
The boss?
only grandfather, uncle, and I have the highest clearance.
The uncle's the likely choice. He's very suspicious.
Our proximity. The vault security clearance. A traitor among the top brass. The indifference towards the stolen goods. And the authority to end dealings with Scarlet Velvet. There's someone all evidence points to. Were I to entertain it, it all starts to make sense. Uncle, if it was truly him, the heir to our family, who betrayed us, wouldn't that be utterly absurd? Now all that remains is to see what the code reveals. It might clear our doubts. Or confirm.
There's no way to find out.
With you no matter what. So, let's see where this leads.
Let's go. Tobit.
My people just reported some initial progress on the terminal repair. Let's go. Our meet-up spot is right ahead.
Lady Carlotta, we received a terminal addressed to you, signed DC.
It's from Duncan.
The initial restoration is almost complete, but some data is overwritten or isolated due to the extensive damage. We were only able to recover certain sections. Our evaluation suggests that a full restoration might not be worth it. But if you insist, Mr. Pierre at headquarters is an expert in this field.
Good. Make sure to contact him. Now please project those stored sections.
Absolutely. One moment.
Margarita's been at home in the vault of the aviation fluids go the dock. I was not. I was there not too long ago.
That's where I was investigating that night. Seems like the intel was right. Bennett did go there. And the other location, I think it's my uncle's private dock. Primarily used for storage, not shipments.
Should we head there after this?
Reviewing the records hardly proves the connection between these locations. If time permits, we should take the terminal to Mr. Pierre. He's an old friend of grandfather's and is an expert in this field. There may be other useful information in the terminal. But first, let's put that code here. It should help us narrow down the range and provide better clues. Follow me. This is why I suggested we return here. Our vault holds everything. Family property, valuable items for trade, and prized possessions entrusted to us by clients. The complete inventory and access records can only be found here, accessible to those with the proper clearance.
General remarkable ornament blending against the quarter tends to be play a crucial role. What is this? Oh, it's not executor, it's executor. Oh, so it's an actual term. Personal institution appointed by a TES to carry items.
The core data module. It's empty now.
Carry out the terms of their will, or a person produces something or puts something into effect.
Someone with access to the vault has broken their oath and leaked the data module. Now only uncle, grandfather, and I have the clearance to retrieve it.
What can he gain from it? He needs to know why.
In Renaissance, the Order maintains control of towns, unlike other countries where they're freely traded. My grandfather learned to modify them during his early ventures in the new Federation. Our lantern-type terminal is a modified one. It may look purely ornamental, but it houses the tech modules we've developed. As Scarlet Velvet said, aside from our art dealings, we've been supplying these terminals to resonators at fair prices as part of our discreet business. By doing so, we've broken the Order's monopoly. We've given more people the means to protect themselves in their ventures, giving them choices they didn't have before. The Order is aware of our discreet business, but they turn a blind eye as long as we don't openly challenge their authority. The hefty taxes we pay maintain this delicate understanding. As a result, no family member would ever divulge our terminal secrets, much less allow the modules to fall into the wrong hands. What exactly are you planning, Uncle? We must find the core module.
Carlotta, where are you?
May I ask you something first? Before the carnival, Priest showed me your pendant. How did he come by it? And what led to your capture?
Does it matter? All you need to know is that it's handled. And I'm in the clear now.
Were you mistreated? Did they coerce you into doing something against your will?
Heed my words. Whatever you've uncovered, put it behind you, and all will be as it was. No grudges, no consequences, only family.
Now, we've had some trouble with the shipment over at Septum. As the rightful heir, I'm giving you a new order. Take care of it.
And I'll pretend none of this ever happened.
I refuse.
Excuse me?
I said I refuse. I can't act as if nothing happened. I won't let a family member die unjustly or see our modules fall into the wrong hands.
Don't trouble yourself with the modules. Yes, our family's ambition has led us far. But it's exacted a price paid in blood and tears.
Welcome back.
Harms the children's safe optimism.
Okay, let me give you the summary. Carlotta, she's part of a mafia family, but this mafia family is actually not corrupt. They provide so while the church, the Order of the Deep, the thing where we can summon or transform monsters, they're called echoes. Essentially, they're the coalescence of residual ideas and frequencies. The church had a monopoly on them. However, Carlotta's grandfather originally was able to essentially jailbreak a couple of them and is able to provide the modules which are actually able to summon them. He jailbroke it, and the Montelli family's business, discreet business, is to essentially sell these to people at a fair price so that way they can protect themselves. The church turned a blind eye to this, as long as they had tax. Now, what happened is Capallo, who is the next heir to the family, he's going to be the next godfather, for some reason, he sold out the family. He broke his oath, and Carlotta is his subordinate. Now, Carlotta is fighting back. Because the church itself is evil. We saw this. Well, I mean, it's in the recording, but essentially exploiting people and stuff like that. So, the fact that he's letting the actual secrets to the jailbroken modules to be falling into the hands of the church, into the hands of evil people, is bad. So now, we're gonna take him down. The person we were investigating, Bennett, he tried to essentially state, though he died, he was able to pass on the secret of like, okay, someone with administrative clearance broke the oath. That person? Capallo. It's a bot. Cool, yep.
So, you're refusing to tell the truth and reveal the module's location, is that it?
Why do you insist on tearing everything apart? Have you ever thought about what Katrina would say? What others would think of us? I've given you a route. All you need to do is accept it.
Based on his name, he's probably like a capo.
Then so be it. Your course is set, as is mine. But mark my words, I will stop you, Mr. Capello.
The fact that she's no longer referring to him as uncle is big.
I'm sorry you have to see this side of our family.
It's okay to be a little less perfect with friends.
Really? I just wish... No. I did promise I'd try to drop the pretense. I don't regret uncovering the truth and exposing the traitor. I'm just saddened that my uncle is the one behind it. We were meant to be the guardians of our family's ideals, to carry the torch forward. Well, wallowing in emotion won't solve anything. Our priority now is to recover the data module. Every moment it's missing puts our family at greater risk. The core module is difficult to carry around. They must have hidden it. The Doc Bennett is used for storage. Could it be there? We need to adjust our strategy. My conversation with Capello will have alerted him. He's likely to move the module sooner than expected. I need to inspect the dock for any clues.
We may restore more data in this terminal.
Indeed, but time is not on our side. If Capello acts on this, I might lose my window to secure the module. Our sole advantage now is that we're operating as a pair. I need you to take this terminal to Pierre at the bank. If the dock turns out to be a dead end, we will need other leads.
What's the next move? We found the
I
module.
know that securing the module alone won't suffice. I must uncover Capello's true motives. How we can protect our family. I'll figure it out. I promise.
That's the plan. We part ways. We're split up. Alright, let's go.
Can you keep it? We call it a dock, but no ships ever come. Uncle has concealed what he took from the vault here. A secluded place entirely under his control. For a secret trove of such value, the lack of security is strange. There was little resistance on my way here. This can't be right.
So now we're examining it. Alright, storage vault causes the eye. Stunning handicraft door with jewels. Sits in stillness. Excuse me, always sick. Delicate aroma of wine. Careful of custom made clothes. Nah.
Nothing so far. Was I wrong? Maybe this place doesn't hold what we're looking for. Why did Bennett come here then? Or am I too late? Did Capello get here first? And the energy fluctuation. It was going off and on. No, I couldn't have been imagining it.
Maybe it's a door? Or an elevator?
Doesn't seem to be made of common glass, but some kind of crystallized energy. Oh. Will I find the data module on the other side?
Sonorosphere.
Or was all this just a trap?
Pocket dimension. No need to find Pierre. That's Carlotta's grandfather.
Hello again.
You must be Francesco, current head of the Montelli family. I'll say, should I call you Padrino like the rest do?
It would be my honor if you do. Don't seem very surprised to learn more.
You have the hair, you have the swagger.
Carlotta told me Mr. Pierre always follows her grandfather around. My instincts were wrong when I saw you together.
Also, the gems, the white hair, that certain stern gaze and the aura.
It also explains why you seemed familiar when we first met.
Was our previous meeting really a coincidence?
What's the term for it? A destined encounter. The universe brought us together, and I happened to take the initiative. Most poetic. Would you agree? That's it. I doubt you want more chit-chat. I know you're here for that term. Let Pierre inspect it, and we can resume our conversation.
Signore. You knew I was coming. And you knew I'm here.
Remember that painting we discussed earlier? In a fragile equilibrium, the smaller piece is forced to repress its true nature. It's confined to a seemingly flawless structure, stripped of its autonomy. I don't want to say but I can't simply impose my path upon her, expecting blind obedience. She must find her own path, with a partner she can fully trust. As for those who betray their own blood, there will be no leniency. Even my own son is not exempt from ordeal.
Oh, he's gonna beat him up.
However, before I intervene, I want to see her plan take shape. My hand should only be played as a final measure. The old give way to the new. It's the way of the world. But for us Montellis, the courage to break from the past matters far more than clinging to it. So I ask you this favor. When the time is right, give this to her. She'll need it.
It's a little tricky, but you're lucky to have my expertise. This terminal is defunct, but I've seen its data, even the overwritten and isolated bits.
Thank you, sir. You mean the data was erased from it?
The terminal has been tampered with, but nothing was intentionally erased. It seems they wanted to overwrite the data to avoid detection. I can show you. Do you have a terminal? I'll send over the data so you can see for yourself.
Yep, mine looks like these records.
I assume you've taken care of Bennett's body.
We dumped him in the Tacit Discord zone overnight.
claim he was killed by those monsters tomorrow morning. Sir, are you sure? Are we really going to work the order? Have they made you kill one of our own?
We're in too deep now. Handing over the data module to the Order will cement our position as an ally of the authorities. We'll replace the Vistalians. The other resonators in the city are irrelevant.
Power hungry.
Bennett, I will take care of him regardless. He knew too much. He deserved it for pursuing the Scarlet Velvet matter. Anyone who gets in my way shall meet the same fate.
Yes, sir.
We all stood together on that stormy night. Each one of us losing someone dear. And we all share the desire for our family to find an easier path forward. The best way to avoid sacrifice isn't fighting, but aligning ourselves with superior powers. Knowing that you may have left the family, and I should expect no more favors from you. But I ask this of you one last time. Please, put this terminal in Carlotta's hands.
What's in it? Carlotta. What will happen to her?
Save for the standard location tracking data every terminal holds. In 3 days, I'll be negotiating on behalf of the family with the Order. I just want to make sure Carlotta doesn't interfere in the meantime. She'll be given a chance to join our side. I promise. Think about Bennett. If you take care of this, I will overlook what he stole and let it be a thing of the past. I know you care more about your late friend than you're willing to admit.
Unbelievable. What is capable of even thinking? Killing one of our own? It's a complete betrayal of our family. I must record all this madness with Sophie, my terminal. No, it's too risky. I have Bennett's body. Nobody's going to pay attention to a dead man's terminal. I'll record it, then override with new data. I have to keep this record well. In case I also...
They set a trap in the docks. It's a trap, shit! I'm just gonna check on it immediately.
A trap? Wait. So, wouldn't pay the Carlotta being taken? Are you really letting her face this by herself?
She's already there. So why bother? I trust Carlotta and our esteemed guest. It is a trap, but also an opportunity for her to mature.
I'm just checking what Padrino means. Yeah, it means the boss of the mafia. Or capo de capi.
Is that?
Family will shield you.
The realm of ego.
Could it be from touching that mirror? Energy crystals made into a mirror with pre-made scenario inside. Slap trap. These masterless echoes have turned hostile. The frequency fluctuations in the scenario seem unstable. I think I'll have to handle them as well as search the area.
You will yield. Glory demands more.
Shotgun blast!
In the name
Gatling Basto.
still recognize me.
All these obstacles suggest the answer is likely there. I must investigate that mansion. The way out and clues I need may Lapis layout and decor seems strikingly similar to our mansion, just with slight differences.
heard. Actually, imagine the whole family's caught wind of it by now. Isn't that why we're throwing this rally for her today?
Tell me, how on earth do you stay in the loop, tinkering away at home like that? You must be shocked. Capello's already in the air. So, why on earth did he adopt her?
According to the mansion, Carlotta's gaze drawn to two members engaged in conversation.
Orphan girl from the other side of the family, adopted by Padrino. This rally held for me. Mere touch of the mirror was enough to instantly draw out my memories, experiences, and even passing thoughts, creating this scenario.
She pauses, trying to make sense of the situation, but one of the members suddenly notices her, begins asking questions, much to her surprise.
You look a little familiar. Oh, it's you again. What brings you back here?
You shouldn't know me yet. Not at this time.
I don't understand. What time? What are you talking about?
Sorry. Please don't mind what I just said. I'm not really sure where I am, why I'm here, and what I need to do.
Okay, to explain, basically she got stuck in a pocket dimension, and this pocket dimension is altered based on her memories and thoughts. It's a clever trap.
Actually, I think he meant to say we just saw it just now, about a minute ago. Walked right past us and headed that way.
Yeah, I'm just surprised you're back so soon. By the way, you do look a bit different, don't you? Your outfit. No, it's all the accessories, really. Yours are red. Personally, I saw blue ones and glasses. Perhaps I'm imagining things.
Blue accessories. I saw blue accessories on that hand that pulled me inside. I suppose she's the friend who invited me here. Could you tell me where she's gone? Been left alone since arriving. I believe I really should meet her.
Perhaps she's just out for a stroll. Preparations are behind schedule due to a mishap. Everyone's waiting for the rally to begin.
Yes, now I remember. The rally didn't start on time because of a lighting malfunction. On the other hand, once the lights are turned on, something may change and it could reveal new clues. Thanks. I think I know where I'm going now.
You're welcome, I suppose. Not that we've done much for you.
I doubt it means much to Celeste. You only exist in this place. Unlike me, you probably don't need to hear this. But I believe Padrino took her in because he saw the makings of a true Montelli.
Fancy a wager? Live there. You did this. You can't guess what the hero's biggest forecast was.
Can you keep up?
She simply is.
Can you keep up? Lighter than a gun.
Wait, not that. What's that button to... Ah. Wait, not that. August 9. January, March, April, May, June, July, August. So 8, 9. Something, something, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 6, 8, 9? Oh, 6, 2, 8, 9.
Time to check the log.
Rider kick.
Come over, my child.
So, are you talking to me?
Yes. Fret not, cubs. Come up to the front, so everyone can see you.
With 11 years ago.
Today is a special day. The beginning of your journey is one of us. As my granddaughter, you will now carry the Montelli name. My name. The family's name. With it, its privileges and responsibilities.
She shares our bloodline.
Yayorona?
She is a true Montelli, just like the family.
It's not exactly how it happened.
Puny little thing. Such a nervous look to her. She's from the lesser side of the family. Girl at that. Why her? What makes her worthy of the Montelli name? My thoughts exactly. I fail to see how she could possibly belong to our ranks, let alone carry the family name.
Who's that?
It was you. Recognition. Praise. Glory. Isn't that what you want? Stay here, and you'll have all of that. Is that the exit?
I think it's another doorway in.
Dazzling sunlight. Am I even cool? Have I left that scenario already? Now the question
Nope.
is, what moment from my past does this represent? No, these decorations, they aren't real even if they appear to be. This is just another simulation from
From my memories.
How do I leave this place? Leave? But didn't you just follow me? share the same past, present, and perhaps even future. Pretend I can anyway, and keep the Montelli name out of your filthy mouth. Oh, right. How could I forget? You worked so hard to earn the illustrious Montelli name back then. And this was your humble abode, correct? A poor little girl from the forgotten side of the family, trying desperately to fit in with the grandeur of her new home, fearing abandonment, and playing the part of a proper lady. You're a star of life, a top investor at the auction house, but your true talent, being the family's favorite weapon, carrying out orders without question. Is that all you need? I'm thrilled with what I'm offering you. Acceptance, validation, indispensability. Did you see how everyone adored you? Isn't this a dream come true? Planning to shoot me again? Don't. This scenario is born from your consciousness. And it's also a moral domain. Since the frequencies here can be shattered, they can also be brought together again. Why not try shooting yourself? Perhaps that will work. Don't be so quick to deny it. If you truly never craved acceptance and recognition, would I even exist? Since praise and affirmation aren't enough, I'll give you a chance to prove it. Show me how much your sweat and tears are worth. Still recognize me? Nice work. But this is only the beginning. You must be dying to know which part of the past this is. Would you like a little hint?
A metallic scent. Oh no. It's memory she wants to leave behind.
Blood debts will catch up with those who have to pay. Storm is coming. Now you remember. I knew you'd never forget. The rain that night never ceased in your heart.
Oh, damn it! This is a trap! They've taken what's ours! In the name of the Montellis, this won't be over. Unfinished.
Did you hear that? Oh, the panic in their voice. How they must be begging for a capable leader to come save the day. Quickly and swiftly. You will yield. The world is mine.
Three key areas have been hit one after another. South Second Lock, West End Dock, and our headquarters. Intel says the Thessalians are gearing up for another hit on our headquarters. As usual, we can expect the order to turn a blind eye. They ambushed father first before we did anything to them. It is beyond unforgivable. Running out of time. Capo, we need a plan before Padrino wakes up. Call for reinforcements from the east end. It's risky, but if they don't smell our manpower shortage, we might just make it through.
No, we shouldn't do that. The
West End. Our men will retreat to headquarters.
Why? They're tough, but we're no pushovers either. We earned our turf fair and square. Why should we back down now?
When Padrino eventually wakes, how do you plan to explain that we have your huge and the entire family's efforts go to waste?
We still risk exposing the location of our headquarters. It's all about predicting their moves and keeping ours hidden.
What about you, Carlotta? What do you think?
Once again, this deviates from my past experience. Well, I'll point them down the right path this time. We'll hit their base. Our people on the east end, the south second block and the dock, will stay put to give the impression we know nothing. Then we'll send our main forces to where the Vesalius keep their echoes. Trade routes mean nothing compared to that, as they know what we value most. We need to demand something of equal worth from them as our bargaining chip.
Is this really going to work?
We can't afford to lose our people. Everything else, even the mansion, are simply assets. I'll cover the rear. Can you keep up? Quickly and swiftly. Running won't save me. Still recognize me? Improvise. The stage is set. Victory favors me. In the name of the Montellis. Still recognize me? I'm still standing. You will yield. The world is mine. Found your weak spot. Masterpiece complete. Look at you. Brilliant plan. So clever. It could have saved us from our humiliating defeat. And of course, you didn't just come up with it because you knew what happened. No. That idea has been brewing in your mind since that very day. How does it feel to finally have your dismissed plan validated? Back then, no one bothered to ask for your input, did they? The big shots like Capello and those old-timers couldn't care less. The family ended up making the worst possible choice. They called for reinforcements, depleting resources in both headquarters and the East End.
No. Cynthia. Look at me. Please. Why is this happening? The West End. It's all my fault. I should have been more careful. You're the only family I have left. Montelli's motto is enterprise. But there's no end to this enterprise. No end to the ambition. No end to chasing wealth. How much more do we have to lose?
In the end, your dear grandfather had to step in and fix the mess you all made. The plan advanced. The dead were forever gone. It stands as the greatest tragedy in our family's history. With that altered the outcome. But it's impossible to prove now. The past is set in stone. We only have one path before us. Yes, the cold rain from that night still haunts us. But we cannot be shackled by the past. I might not be in charge, but my principles are clear. Every action I take is for the benefit of the family. We must leave here and stop Capello. Whatever the consequence.
Symptoms.
You're unshakable, aren't you? So you've made up your mind. Our negotiations have reached a dead end. Then I'll need to try something else to make you stay. Can you keep up? Can you keep up?
Left. You should have gone left. Wait.
Think it over. I told you before. You should take the easier way out.
Wrong. Wrong again. Do you really think you can choose the right path?
I want to shoot you in the face.
Let's get lost in this maze together, from one window to another. I'll keep you company.
Do you truly think you are worthy of the Montelli name? Just give up. What an embarrassing sight. What is so painful to watch? You might have another chance up ahead.
Yes, that's right. Keep moving forward. We're getting closer. You have to press ahead. Don't doubt yourself.
Don't you see? This is what happens when you choose the wrong path and back the wrong horse.
The cost will be far greater than you thought.
No, not this way, Piccoli. You should try another way. Choose wisely. You still have a chance to make things right.
Why are you...
I was worried you might be in danger. Also, I'm here to deliver this. The gun was always there. You earned the right to use it the moment you chose to act on your own accord. Looks like you've made up your mind.
Padrino's gun never leaves his side. If he places it within your reach, it can only mean one thing. You've been entrusted with the authority to act in the name of Montana. Now, whether it fires and where it aims, the choice is mine alone.
She'll lead her family now.
Can you keep up? I am merely a blade made for killing. Am I really qualified to change the status quo?
Why won't you obey my orders? I'm getting we should take the easier approach. If we can make other people
So, why can't you just give it to me and stay here? Still recognize me? Victory favors me.
moment of resonance.
My company. Running won't save me. Still recognize me? The world is mine. Stand down. How did you let go of confusion and doubt so easily? Those were your true feelings. Your dad. What makes us so different? Brother, care for a story? A story about why a certain girl was adopted. Prayer alone offers no salvation. In the face of survival, creed becomes meaningless.
How dare she eat the tribute? No, Henry said the food is tribute. It's not support. Attack! Back. I'm telling Nanny.
Suits a Montelli well. Repurposing decoration into a weapon. Defying indoctrination to chart the course forward. Her blood runs with the same fierce will as ours. Come with me. The family will shield you and open your eyes to a new world. You will rise to become a true
Montelli.
Ah. So she's an atheist like us.
I see. So Duncan was in the dark about the real cause of Bennett's death. He simply wanted to protect his friend's reputation. And Capello used that. Duncan gave us a rigged terminal to cover Bennett's dead, clearing his name. driven by a desire for safety and stability. Tempting future even for me. We will never achieve that by surrendering ourselves to the Order. From the very beginning, our paths diverged. To yield to them now means giving up even more. And once we lose our grip, we'll no longer have the luxury of refusal. Grandfather and the others have already paved the way. I will follow their lead and chart a course towards a brighter tomorrow. For our family and all of Raguna, wealth and power will safeguard our freedom, while freedom in turn will nurture wealth and power. The Montelli family is set to break the Order's suffocating hold and lead Raguna towards a wider horizon, embracing Septimund, Huanglong, and other countries. And through it all, we will never forget who we are. The family exists to accomplish what one cannot, and withstand the winds of fate. This is the future I envision for the Montellis.
What do you plan to do next?
Like I said, we seize control. An all-out war with the Order isn't a wise move. Rather than blindly tailing Capello in search of a hidden data module, let's take control and have him come to us. Scarlet Velvet mentioned they need a formal reply, and we can deliver. Care to help me give them an unforgettable response in 2 days?
Taking the initiative. I like it. Please tell me we have the cutscenes.
Who gets the bullet? That's your call.
Never stop.
Because I recorded this. Just to make sure. Okay, good. It's recording. And the sound is there. Loud and clear. Everything's going according to plan.
Remember to be stealthy. Scarlet Velvet and my operatives are positioned in all the streets around the venue. Should anything go awry, I'll set Plan B in motion.
Just a moment. My friend is contemplating the deletion of her channel. Wait. Everyone, this is going to be the end of the stream. We will be raiding a good friend of mine. Thank you for being here, D-Hush. We will be raiding a good friend of mine. I consider her akin to my old sister. Let's go. Ciao.